Well, hello friends, we're back here at Curator Contemporary Gallery in Coconut Creek, Florida, again with my good friend David Goldstein. David, good to see you again.
Oh, my pleasure.
This is now like the week after the opening. We had a great, amazing opening last Friday. It was great. It was packed. We had a lot of people, a lot of your friends, a lot of people who just came, you know, also from the gallery, people who were walking by and they were really attracted by your work. So today what we want to do is we want to kind of like dive more into the art itself. In the previous episode, if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you go back and check it out. I'm going to link it at the bottom of this video. We talk about your story, like, you know, meeting Dali, Salvador Dali, and all kinds of really great memories that you have. And we didn't much talk about the art because the art wasn't on the wall just yet. But now the art is on the wall, right behind us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a little, like a tour of the exhibit. David has a lot of work that he has produced over his career. And so what we did to organize the exhibition is we kind of like look at groupings, various groupings, by the way you work with the material or by ideas and things like that. So we're going to kind of like move across the show, looking at some of those groupings in order to kind of also pull some of the stories from those works as well, getting to know you more now through your art.
There we go.
Which I think will be really fun. So I want to start here. When somebody walks into the gallery, boom, this is the first thing they see. I love this painting, which is called You Can Do It. It pulls your attention. Of course, who doesn't love a good heart? You know, and then it's got like this also beautiful yellows, pinks, colors. Let's start with this. Tell me a little bit more about this work right here.
Okay. So actually, this was done in 2017. And in 2017, I had a couple of health issues. And when I was getting well, actually for a little bit of time, I wasn't able to paint. Mm-hmm. Actually, I was a little bit saddened because I couldn't paint. I enjoy painting. It was something that I could do privately, no matter what my mood was.
Right.
It would all go somewhere. I could stare at it while I was putting it together. In most cases, I didn't just sit down and paint something. I started something and then brought it into another room, set it up, and then looked at it for a while, and then added to it and added to it. So in any event, this took me quite a while, probably about 6 months from the start. And I only started by doing the background. Okay. I started the background, and I wanted a heart, but I didn't want the whole heart. I wanted part of my heart. So you can see part of a heart. Also, the colors that I chose were indicative of how I felt, And I was very grateful to be feeling healthy and alive. So I kept adding more hearts and more hearts and more hearts and more hearts, as you can see all around here. And when I was through with it, I stared at it again. Yeah. And with all of my pieces, until I'm happy, that isn't to say that I was unhappy, but until I feel like I completed it, that's done, I don't sign it.
I kind of do have the same thing, like I'm working at it, like the moment I sign it, I'm committed, like, okay, now I can go meet the world.
Yes, so I sign it in the front, initial it with a year, and I do the same thing in the back. I smile, and then I probably stare at it again and leave it while I go on to whatever pieces.
How about the titles? Does the titles for your pieces come as you're working on them, come later, or is it different for each work?
Okay, different for each work. However, most of them come when I'm done. Not while I'm creating, I'm not sure where I'm going or whether I'm going to finish it. So I don't want to give it a name and then not complete it. And if I don't complete it, sometimes I just put it in a pile and say, well, I'm going to throw it away. But I rarely throw it away. I may paint over it, come back to it. But I do have things that I just didn't like for whatever the reason. Yeah. That just didn't give me something where I feel complete. But Maxine may come out and say, oh, that's great. And I say, well, I don't think so. I'm just going to leave it over there. Oh, no, just put it in a frame. It's going to be great. But that's what's the best part about art is. Yeah. You know, they say art is in the eyes of the beholder. Right. And it sure is. It sure is. Absolutely. So when you come in here, you're going to look around and you're going to say, oh, this is the best thing. And then you're going to say, why did he put this up?
That's the beauty of art, right?
Yes. Like here.
I love, and I'm glad you pointed this one out. It's one of my favorite ones from
Me
this
too.
section. I love this section right here. We pick like paintings that are really, they pull you in. The color, you're an abstract expressionist painter.
Yes.
You grew up in New York. You probably had access to and visibility all the great abstract expressionist painters of the time too. And you kind of capture that. That's what you're using as your visual language for your work. And one of the pieces that I love, this one, it's really fun, it's exciting, and I love the title too, Icing on the Cake, which I think it's a great title for this particular piece. It's hard to see it from a distance, but you will see also, like in some ways, like the painting or the surface of the paint itself crack, and that created a really beautiful kind of a texture that we see it when we're looking at it up close.
Well, depending upon how you utilize the paint, I mean, I decided to, for argument's sake, in that pink area that you're talking around there, make it into a liquid that was really fine. So the potential for it to crack was really great. I didn't know for sure that it was going to happen. And then pouring. I love to pour. And you could see that I poured, in most instances here, colors on top of colors while they were still wet. And then I pick it up and I bang it on the table and I turn it and change it. And it isn't typical, I guess, of most people thinking that you're picking up a paintbrush and that's what you're using. I like rollers. I love rollers.
Okay.
Actually, I even have toilet brushes that I've used.
Oh, very good.
Don't worry. They were clean toilet brushes.
Yes, they were specifically
for
the studio, not for art.
You got it. And right here, this was done in 2014, and it's one of my favorite, and I wasn't ever sure if I was going to sell it or not.
Okay.
And I decided to sell it because I wanted to meet somebody who loves it as much as me, and that wants to take it home and enjoy it every day, because I wasn't hanging this in my home. It was in the studio. It was in a pile. And at the same time, when we decided how we were going to hang today, we took something from 2025, brand new, relatively new, same artist, different day, different feeling, much less paint. Done in a different fashion, and they're right above each other, or next to each other. 10 years apart. And at the same time, one makes the other feel just great.
Right.
So most of the art that I have is supposed to make you feel great. Not only you, but me, because I didn't do it to feel unhappy. Even if I did some things, and you'll see shortly, that were out of events that were unhappy. The fact that I could approach it and deal with it makes me comfortable. And if the word isn't happy, it could be content. And glad that I was able to do it. I found a resolve in my own brain. So unlike a lot of other art forms, and music in particular that I'm involved in and have been involved in forever, with music, I was comfortable with others. So even if I wrote the music, I loved playing it with other people. It wasn't a personal, just one-on-one event. Everyone was involved in it. And with my art, it's a one-person event. I do it for myself, except for when I have my grandchildren paint. And I have paintings with them that I've done and that I've kept. And wonder if I should put it up one day and see if someone wants to buy something that's done with my grandchildren.
Painting is kind of becomes also, I don't know if you agree, but also because you are kind of yourself with the work, and almost in isolation, it also becomes like a meditative process, or almost like spiritual in a sense, ritualistic in one way, when an artist goes into the studio and makes art.
So my art studio at home is in an outdoor space.
I had a pleasure to visit.
Yes, thank you. So I have plants that are indoors, with open windows. Lots of orchids. I love orchids. The vandas all everywhere. So, and I take care of them a few times a week. I mean, they take care of me every day. When I go out there, I smile at them and they smile back at me. But I have hundreds of orchids outside, totally that surround that area. And interior-wise, I try to keep those that are in bloom. And in my home, I also, every room has fresh orchids. They just do.
Really good.
All of a life that's became a passion.
Really good.
Maybe obsession.
All right, so we're in another section. So that's kind of like the first section as you go into the show. Now we move into this section, which has like a darker background wall, which is really beautiful because it really makes your bright painting like stand out. You know, it really pushes the paint forward. So in this section that we selected a number of paintings, particularly the ones that it seems like were you using the roller more as a brush. One piece that particularly as we were setting up the show, you know, we talk about this piece, which is like your New York, right? The Twin Tower piece. Tell me a little bit about, you know, this particular collection and specifically how this piece came about. Was it before 9/11? Was it after 9/11? Does it have any relationship to that?
This was after 9/11.
Okay.
And actually, I guess we all had the stress of 9/11 mentally, some of us physically as well, emotionally for sure. And so I took time to do this, to evolve into this. And actually, when I look at it, I still feel the same way. I mean, I've been to the Twin Towers many times. I've dined there on the top. Probably more than a dozen times. I lost friends that day.
Oh, wow.
And also was part of a group that actually had offices there that I didn't have to visit all the time, and I wasn't there at that time.
Yeah.
And I have some lovely, you know, when out of misery or out of that terrible day, I met people that did unbelievably heroic things during that time, and we never know, you know, how we're going to react during any kind of challenge in life. So this was a dedication to all, to our country certainly, and to all those that were heroic that day. I didn't drop the building. I wanted the building up there in flame, in color, but also to represent. I mean, to me, I thought about this and thought as I did it, when I was completed, it took me a while to even sign it because I thought, well, is this enough? And then I said, yeah, that's that. That's that. So all the paintings in this area here are very colorful, as you see, and they're bold. They're pretty bold. And they represented how I felt. I felt like here on the top there that I was walking through the woods. And it may have been at a time, I can't read exactly, but it was at a time certainly when I was happy for the forests of our world, for being able to breathe the clean air that comes out. And I wanted to show the forest not just as a dark place where you have to be scared and all, but as a place that you could see, and you could see different colors, and even the white shining through. And that's how it's called, you know, light the night, because no matter where you are in your brain or otherwise, you could find the light. The light being spiritual or being physical. And I hope that you love it, because I love it.
And that's one of the reasons why I love this painting too. As you said, that the light, and there's also a gold color to it that you don't see it unless you move around with the painting, like as you walk around the gallery. So there's like in the forest, I find it like a sense of discovery, right? As you're walking through, you find things, you see things, and this painting actually kind of does the same. It's one of your more complex pieces, while in the other ones, like the color is applied and is there, and you see it, see the layering. On that one, you know, your color mixes with each other and on the surface. And so that creates, you know, new rich tones, new rich colors, new rich textures.
So I think that nature provides color.
All that,
all the colors beyond what we could buy in the store.
Exactly.
And what we could perceive too. So like you said, you're out there, the gold, wow. Wow, that, it has to touch you. The gold has to touch you. And everything that's here may be symbolic too of building, and you may not see what you're building, but we are building every day. We're living life, we're building our what we want to do that day, how we want to do it, how we complete it. We might be thinking about here something as complex as building a city, and whether it's good or bad or indifferent, but if you came to the Bronx, for argument's sake, you'd have to see these buildings. They would just be there.
Yeah.
They would be there. And I know that this painting was selected.
Yeah, I love this work. We use this one in the invitation too, which is really nice. This one at the bottom, the blue one too. I think they go really well together.
They do. They do.
And tell me about like some of these where, when you do this type of painting, you only get one chance to get the paint right, right? Correct. Because if you do it too much, then it ruins it. If you do it too little, then it doesn't work. But I think these ones you really achieve a beautiful sense of balance between it's not too much pour, not too little. It tells a nice story. There's nice also overlay of those markings, which happen quickly, almost like a nice gesture. It reminds me of a lot of Kandinsky or John Miro, type of painting as well. Very playful.
I always thought that Moreau and I would be good friends.
I would think so too.
I always thought so. And Moreau threw paint.
Yeah.
He just threw paint. He didn't care what he did. He took buckets of paint and threw them, and then he'd even put his paintings on fire and burn off edges and things, whatever.
Yeah.
So I have visited his studio.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, well, we really could have, communicated with each other in some way. Yeah. I believe, at any rate, even though we didn't get a chance to do that. But I feel like both of them might be really pretty close to the type of thing that he would do.
Yeah.
I threw this gently.
But it landed just perfect.
Yeah.
In the right spot.
And I did it, the background was done before any of that was thrown over it. And it was done in a gentle fashion. At least in my brain, it was done in a gentle fashion, even though if you were around, you would have heard me banging a lot, because when I pour, I pick up the paintings and I bang them in different angles, and whatever. And I was just so happy and proud with the results, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so we're now in another section of the show, which I consider this almost like the center piece of the show. Is the largest piece for sure. It also has like this circular motion, which makes almost like a target. It's probably one of your most controlled pieces, where your other ones you are more expressive. On this one, you're definitely controlled in order to create kind of like this circle, right? Broken into 4 pieces. And also in this section of 7 works, 3 plus this one, which is the main one. Also, something that repeats is the circle. In some of them, and how also the negative space, which is also more prominent in all these paintings. So tell me a little bit about this one, which is very different from everything that you have here in the show.
So, first of all, this is the 4 elements, and I kind of feel that it's very spiritual to me. It represents a whole lot more than I could express to you. And hopefulness for now, for the next generation, forever. And it kind of repeats itself to some degree, because there's a lot of motion in all of the 7 pieces here. They may not look the same, but at the same time, they all to me show great hope. The use of color is kind of limited in each painting, as it is here.
It's very more. You have a lot of exercise, a lot more
restriction. Correct. Simplicity. I was feeling that I wanted to just be complete with less.
Yeah.
And hopeful that in the world we could all be complete with a little less, maybe think of more for everybody.
Right.
And that wasn't meant to be a political statement. That was just meant to be a love statement, a statement of love.
And what I like is, like, in an artist who has a long career, like yourself, is that a lot of times themes come back in time. The circle, this piece is from 2024. We have another one here from 2018, for example, right? 2025, 2020. So
in 2014.
And 2014. So, there's always like elements that are part of your visual vocabulary that as an artist kind of like you pull from what you have done and bring it back into the present.
So I think that when you look at these paintings, you have the opportunity to put into them anything that's in your brain, in your brain. So I gave what I felt, and now you can look and say, but I feel this, or whatever it may be. You don't have to look at the name of them, but if you do, that will give you some ideas of maybe where you should take your brain to. But I'm just happy. This one took me a very long time, very long time, because even just painting it, this was all brush. And it took a long time because I want the texture.
Yeah, the texture.
So there isn't one layer of paint. There's many layers of paint. The same thing with all of the different colors there to make them specific. No mistakes. And I don't mind mistakes in all of them or whatever. You might think one thing goes into another. Here, not one thing went into another. But at the same time, the four elements are what makes up the world. Even though some may think it's five. But I hope you come in. And above it is the poem that I wrote in 2005 that is being suggested here, that my eyes can see the good in the world, because they do. They do. I focus on the good, and every day there's good. So I don't know if I should mention this, but in I guess it was 1975, 6, in New York City, I thought that I would produce a positive newspaper. Oh. And at that time...
Positive newspaper.
A positive newspaper.
For the good news.
For good news in New York City in 1975, 6. And I called it Perspectives. And I decided that I would show in each of these each week when it was published, different viewpoints for the same issue, with the goal of realizing that we're all entitled to a different opinion.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we could respect each other. And back then, even if we argued with each other, there was a respect of each other. So I published it for a year. I gave it out free. People loved it when it was free.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, I said, well, now you have to pay for it. And the next year, I decided not to publish it anymore because no one wanted to buy it anymore. They were hooked on negative and shock, just like we are today. And
nothing has changed.
No, it hasn't changed.
We just went from print to TV to social media.
Yeah. But I want to still show positive, because every day there's something positive.
Right.
I mean, we may not be able to find it easily, but now you could Google it. Google what happened positive in my neighborhood today, and read it, and then say, wow, I live in a great neighborhood.
Right. And we hope that somebody is reporting on the good that's happening in the world, right?
That's correct.
That's
correct.
That's the other talking about that. Yeah. Well, very cool. I love it.
Thank you.
And I love how you end like this statement, lots of littles to accomplish a lot.
Yeah.
Which I think for the artist's career it's about that. Every day that you walk in the studio, sometimes you might just do a little bit here, a little bit there. Some days you will do a lot, but it's just that accumulation of those little things that we do, when we walk in the studio that, 20, 30 years later, you look back to like, wow, I actually produced a large body of work.
Yes. And I've done it for, 50 years or a little bit more than that. And I do. And I think I told you that the first time that I had a show, I sold 4 pieces, and I was unhappy that I sold them, except that I was glad that I earned a living at that.
Right.
Yes, the money. But one of them I bought back. I bought back 20 years later.
Wow, that's a cool story.
And I have it, and I'm just happy because it doesn't represent me now, but I could see in it how it was the beginning of the way that I was going to project different paints. I used oil paint then, and I didn't really like oil paint, or I used mixed media, oil paint, and then acrylics, and even ink. But here we are today talking about a different animal.
Okay, so we are here now in what I would say is the last section of the show. As you can see here, as we have gone through this journey of getting to know your work. So tell me about these pieces right here. Also beautiful works. I love how we ended also with the circle on the one end, kind of like encloses the entire show. You have these three pieces, which are also some of my favorite works here too. I think they're all from different times in your career.
Yes, they are.
2016, 2020, 2015, or 2018, I think. So there's, they represent also different facets of you as the artist, but in some way, kind of encapsulating what you have done as an artist.
So as I mentioned before, that we are all as individuals complex people, and these works to me bring out some of that complexity. They all feel spiritual. Some of them have religious connotations to me, and they were all done with great emphasis on my brain, on my brain feeling satisfied with them. So for argument's sake, this is David's Star of David. We know a lot about the Star of David, but I presented it in such a way how I felt growing up, hearing about the Holocaust and other things of that nature, and wanted to present it in a feeling of today that wouldn't just make you say, "Oh, that's a Jewish star." And we could go up the wall
Right.
and find different symbols here. I thought of Michael Jackson here.
Oh, no.
Dancing in the streets. Dancing in the streets.
That's the title of the piece, huh?
Yep, and that man knew how to dance.
Yeah.
That moonwalk, for argument's sake, changed his career forever. And all of these, I just have said, you know what? Everything that's up here, it was important to me. And is important to me.
Right.
And I'm hopeful that it's important to whoever wants to take it home or does take it home, or else just comes to visit.
Yeah, of course. And now this, for example, these three, because you no longer have the original pieces, so we
Correct.
to show them as G-clay prints on canvas, which the reproduction is really beautiful. Now this one, you mentioned, what is the original piece for this one?
The original is in a collection.
Okay.
A few that are here, there's another G-clay down there, are in collections, private collections. Actually associated with the Holocaust Museum one, and others with hospitals and Alzheimer's disease. I feel David, at any rate, want to be helpful to as many causes that are good for humanity, period. So I have involved myself in probably 100 or 200 organizations that I'm happy for, and I hope that they continue to do their jobs, and I don't have to be the representative of it, but if they need something that I could be helpful with, then
And it was really beautiful talking to people during the opening, many people, friends of yours, who know you from a long time, who, when you were talking over there, they were talking to me, saying how huge of an impact you have done through these organizations, through your support, and through the things that you have done in the world. And I think that's a wonderful way to wrap it up as we end, with another circle of it, as we finish our conversation, to say, you're an artist who has come full circle with your art, from your childhood that you talked about in the previous episode, growing up in New York, and not knowing where your life was going to go, your career was going to go, going through art, through entrepreneurship, through music, through all the things that you have done as well, and being able to look at your art as almost like as a way of recording your passage of time, as a way of recording your feelings, your emotions, and the things you have done. And I think for all of us as artists, it's great inspiration as well to see your work and to remember that the work that we do matters, even if at the beginning just matters to us, because we're the ones making it, but in the long run, people who get to see your work, later in life, it's beautiful, that they were able to find this thing that is a testament of something that we lived, something that we believe, or something that we experience. And I think at the end, that's kind of that's a wonderful way to celebrate art and what art does for our lives.
Yes. So I think that this wall is my legacy.
Of course.
It's my legacy. And I thank you, Sergio, for bringing me here for this opportunity. and we'll continue to bring opportunities for many others, including ourselves,
Of course.
as we make the world, our world, a better place.
Right. And as a way to end, we're going to have an artist talk coming up this coming Thursday. I believe it's November 13th.
That's it.
The 13th at 6 p.m. here at 33 Contemporary Gallery at the Promenade at Coconut Creek, South Florida. And not only is going to be a wonderful conversation, but also after that, David and I, we're going to be painting a canvas together. So using both of our styles of, using acrylic painting, abstraction, mark making, also kind of like the energy of the moment, because we'll have a crowd of people expecting something. So I think all that's going to be ingredients for us to create something beautiful and amazing. So
we have not collaborated on it. We're just going to come and do something. And it's going to make sense, and it's going to be as beautiful as the moment allows.
Exactly. We have no plans yet of what it's going to be, but it's going to be.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Of course. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Sergio.
Thank you once again.
Always.
Thank you.